welcome back to Flipper Flicks. We are a weekly podcast, and we review movies. And I was going to tell Adam and Tim a time travel joke, but they didn't like it.
Shit, that's good. That's probably our best intro yet.
I'm not going to say anything.
Pat myself on the back.
Because I'm sitting here like waiting for it. Because I'm like, she's not going to just do this because she went and looked up stuff beforehand. This isn't just going to be like, oh, this is who we are.
Yeah, you always got to wait for the catch, right?
I'm waiting for it. And there's the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nailed it. I guess with that, I already talked about social media, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Just
In
go
last
back to
week's
one of the
episode.
previous episodes.
My name's Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hey.
Hello. And we do have social media, also known as Adam,
Yeah.
on Instagram and Twitter. It's Flipper Flicks, or however the kids say it, at handle.
Never
Flipper
figured
Flicks.
that out.
We don't have Zoomers on call.
Yeah, we don't.
Millennials
can
probably
find
know it
us-
too, but we're idiots.
Aren't we technically millennials?
Yeah, I'm saying the three of us are inept.
Yeah, that's true. Very accurate.
We might be millennials, but we're not
we're
social
like-
media.
we're like, oh shoot, we might be time travel. We're like the people that do a podcast that don't really understand what a podcast is or something. I don't know. What's that?
He's
What do they
looking for the
say?
word.
Every nowadays the midlife crisis is to create a podcast.
Oh,
Or
do they
something
say
like
that?
I don't
That
know.
wouldn't shock me.
Apparently that's a thing that people say now. I don't know.
I mean, there are a lot of podcasts.
That has been
Yeah.
that has been the butt of a lot of jokes recently. That
Yeah.
oh
mean,
yeah,
like-
just make a podcast.
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah. Why not?
We've made 100+ episodes. Okay,
That's true.
we're here to stay.
That should put us in a tier somewhere else. I feel like.
Clock the hours that we spent watching movies as well.
Exactly. We should get effort.
All right, so
Gold star for that effort.
at least 130 hours of listening,
Yeah.
Here comes the math man,
right? And
Yeah.
then assuming every movie just is 100 minutes,
which
so
is
do-
not accurate, but
It
let's
is not
go with
accurate.
that.
It's good from numbers
Yeah.
sake. So you're saying 100 minute movies
Mhm.
times 100 episodes.
Mhm.
That's
Uh-huh.
how much?
I didn't hear the question. Run it by me again.
What's 100 times 100?
Yeah, 100.
10,000. So 10,000 hours.
But you said
No,
100.
I'm just kidding.
Didn't we have more than 100 episodes? But
Oh, yeah, no,
you're
it's
trying
not
to make it
10,000 hours.
easy math.
It's 10,000 minutes.
10,000 minutes. So you got to divide that back down.
166 hours.
Well, that's not very many.
That doesn't seem right.
That doesn't seem right. It's a lot of hours, folks. Also, we should let Tim finish the social media.
Oh shit, yeah. You could find us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and other platforms, but those are the most well-known ones. We have a website, flipperflix.com. You can go there, check it out, send recommendations and what have ye. And we post episodes every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're looking for that drop day, that's the day usually. We also have special episodes and bonus episodes and all sorts of different goodies there. So interact, don't interact, up, down, rate us, rate me, rate them, rate us. All sorts of good things. Give recommendations. We need those.
Yeah.
And I pass
Yeah.
the mic to Adam.
All right, so I'm going to finish the math.
Okay, because I was going to ask somebody else to
So,
finish the math
yeah,
if you were
sorry,
going
I
to.
did my math the harder way. As we can just say that we'll round down to 90 minutes because we already know we're over that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are over 130 episodes, but we'll use that 130 times 1.5 hours
Mm-hmm.
is 195 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, give us those 5 extra hours for more clean numbers.
So 200 hours in movie watching alone.
Yes, which is over 8 days of movie watching.
Look at us.
We've surpassed a week of watching just movies for the podcast.
That's hot.
Wow.
And that's not including the third day, which was like 6 hours.
And that's not including the amount that we spent recording.
Yeah, no, that's not. or editing.
See, there's a lot that goes into producing podcasting.
And if you want to get by person, we can even times the 3 before the editing.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Wow.
We can get up there, guys.
Lots of hours involved.
All right. So anyways, so this week, clearly there's been some chat about time travel.
Yes.
Nuh-uh.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
From a couple minutes ago.
They
Retroactively.
They so graciously okayed this. They being Sam and Tim over here. I'm Adam. I forgot to say my name.
Tim said your name, though.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know, I
did.
actually didn't say my name, I don't think.
I thought you did.
I didn't feel like I did.
They
so-
knew it from the future, though.
At some point in time, you did.
Yeah.
So I got adapt or die, and we always joked about what happens if we choose to die.
Mm-hmm.
Like we choose the die side of adapt or die. We were like, oh, maybe we roll a bunch of die. And I was like, what if I just pick a movie that's all about death?
Like 100%.
Like I had this theory that this movie was about death.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Volition. The synopsis is a man afflicted with clairvoyance tries to change his fate when a series of events leads to a vision of his own imminent murder. Which I was like, that sounds quite interesting to me. I'll just roll into my expectations. So this has been on my Letterboxd watch list since I made one. It was my first movie added to the list.
So a couple years.
About a year and a half, I think.
Okay.
It's been out for since 2019, so it's not like a new movie.
Yeah, it's new to me and Tim.
It's new.
Yeah.
Can I say that,
had
Tim?
no idea what-
On your behalf?
Yeah, and I was sitting here thinking, I was like, had I thought of this? No, not really.
No, yeah, and this is definitely an independent film. Like, definitely. There are Reddit threads from the director, which are it's pretty cool because he's like, I finished my film like on Our Filmmakers or something, and I was like, holy shit, he's actually here, not doing an AMA, just being like, I finished my movie.
Nice.
Right.
So that was exciting. Well, I knew it was about time travel. I knew it was about death. I expected people to be dying, or just being wrapped around death, right? Like,
Sure.
I was interested in that. But yeah, it's been a long time coming for me, I guess, to watch this. I knew I was going to watch it one day, obviously. I put it on the list. It's going to happen.
Yeah, true.
It was destined,
There you go.
one could say. Okay, so what about both of you? Like, I came to you both with this random movie. What were your expectations?
Gonna pass the mic to Sam.
Every time.
I was letting you two decide.
Yeah. I decided.
Good job. Well, you came to Tim and I with this idea of, hey, what if I choose a movie all about death? And I was like, I mean, technically it's part of the category, right? Like that
The
could
name
work.
of the category.
You know what I mean? Let's try it.
Right.
And you were like, it looks really good. It's been on my letterbox. And I was like, okay. And you're like, it's literally all about death. Like, it'll fit the category. Like, I feel like you were mostly just justifying it fitting the category.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fine.
We're super strict.
So I didn't actually know what to expect, except that it would be a movie about death. Like, I didn't watch the trailer. I think I read the synopsis and I was like, oh, that sounds good. But you kept trying to get me to watch the trailer, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch the trailer. Like, I'll just watch it. Which I stand by that move. That Tim move is a good move sometimes, because then you're going in like fresh. So I don't know. I mean, I was just kind of like, this is gonna be about death. Let's see what's going on. Tim?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. I had never heard of it. Adam said, let's do the die part. And I was like, sure, why not?
That's new.
Creative?
Different route.
Yeah, I didn't really quite understand the name or the cover, and I didn't look anything up on it. I didn't read the synopsis. I said, you know what? I'm in.
Press go.
Yeah. So I just was like,
And play.
it said about death at some point. That's all I know.
Yeah. And I should say that this movie's on Showtime.
Mhm.
However, I got real bold and I bought it on
Mhm.
like Vudu.
Yeah.
And that way Tim could watch it too. So
There you go.
bit bam boom.
I technically pirated it, right?
No, I shared it with you.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to make it make sense, and in my head, it still didn't work.
I was like, you legally watched this movie, Tim.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you are not a pirate.
Damn it.
May I have your hat, hook, and pistol with one bullet in it?
Yeah.
And your cape while we're at it.
Oh, yeah. Seeing as you have capes.
That is true. I do have capes.
But yeah, so Sam and I watched this a couple days ago. So we're going to be racking our brain a little and leaning on you, Tim. You're our memory bank, right?
Yeah.
He's like
No,
so confident.
This movie starts out with what? The main character, James, Jim Bob.
Mhm.
He was called like 5 different versions of James.
Well, fits, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're allowed to do that.
Mhm.
It's like John can go by Jack. Disheveled man. I called, for some weird reason, his voice reminds me of Edward Norton's.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was so much of his voice as just like it's a narration over the type of film that it was, and I was like, this is kind of giving me Fight Club vibes, even though it's like not at the same time. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It might have been his voice, but I see it.
There were quite a few actors and actresses. I was like, this is the independent film version of
Like
Nick
this
Offerman.
A-list celebrity, yeah, definitely.
Of what?
So Elliot later in the film, I was like, this guy looks like Nick Offerman. Like,
Yeah, a little bit.
Right?
and then Angela reminded me of who? Amy Adams.
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
It was weird. In my head, I was like, I'm seeing people that aren't there.
Yeah. Right.
If they were to redo this movie with A-list celebrities, this is who they would cast.
Yeah. So the movie starts out. He's like, he sees what he's supposed to be doing for the day. So he can foresee the future.
Yes.
But he only sees clips, and he has this crazy wall where he just writes all this shit so he doesn't forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was very Memento-like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in a way, but it was like more of he doesn't forget things. He just gets random bits of information.
And he needs
He
to
called it
time
like
all together.
clairvoyance at one point. Yeah. It's like a puzzle almost to him. It seems like he just like gets it at the time.
He's like, I have no idea what a ceiling fan's gonna do, but I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see that fucking ceiling fan.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and I remember the first couple minutes of the film being like just a whirlwind because you're basically seeing him like see different parts of his day, and then it's like starting to like come to fruition. You know what I mean? With like the rent being due, and then like running into people and all of that. Like it's just like very like cha cha cha, like super.
Yeah,
fast.
to me, I thought my first thing was, and this may be influenced because you picked a die out of adapter die. My first thought was like, okay, is he seeing events happening before he dies in that situation?
Yeah.
Thing.
Are you thinking Rick and Morty?
Yeah, in a way, I guess. I wasn't, but I was just thinking.
That's what I thought it was going to be like.
But, yeah, I had a couple theories as it went along, but yeah, I was just thinking like he'd be seeing it before the situation, and then so he would avoid the particular part of the situation, which would get him killed or whatever. But
yeah, he
I
goes.
don't know. That first fight I found was it was okay until like it hit that first fight, and like his lines were really cringy in the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, you had like a great I don't know.
I did feel like at some points, like either the dialogue was written poorly or the dialogue was fine, but like the way they were delivering it wasn't great. Like that that would be my critique.
He had a lot of deliveries that were like just come on, you know.
Yeah, you would
put
think
some emotion into it or something.
Right. That's literally what I had in my notes. It's like it felt like there should be more emotion behind the lines that they have, and then it just like wasn't there. And I was like, all right. So I would say like had that not happened, like I don't know that I would have known this was an independent film because like besides the fact that you didn't know anybody in it, but like the shots were fine. Like there was nothing else that was like, oh, this screams an indie film. But like the actors were the one part that I felt like they needed just a little bit more like work or coaching, and that's when I was like, oh, some of this is a little cringe, but not horrible, but just a little bit. It's noticeable.
Right.
Yeah, they that fight scene, like they go and fight. He's fighting this one big dude, and then suddenly another guy comes and jumps him, and it's like, what is happening?
What? Yeah.
But at that time, I actually kind of had this like feeling in the back of my head. I was like, I wonder if that's like a future version of himself.
Dang, already calling the movie.
Well, it's because he was like all hooded and you weren't able to see his face. Was my reasoning.
Tim, did you know?
Yeah, I guess that later on. In that part, I didn't think it was him. But later on, obviously, when he's
jumping.
I mean, when they make it obvious, right? Like he's out the window and he gets shot in the arm. Like that clearly was him stopping himself from, before they even show you what happened. But
starts just jumping around.
Like, okay, so he's definitely gonna have like multiple hymns in the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that
multiple gyms.
Multiple gyms.
Yeah, we were calling them like Jimmy 1, 2, and 3. Because
yeah,
at a certain point, like it's just hopping so much, and there's so many of them. You're like player 2, player 3. Wait, which player is this? And you're like, how to kind of get
player
it straight
2
in your
wins.
Head. Yeah,
I think player 2 wins at least.
That's what it seems like.
No, but like he gets picked up by Sal and Terry to go to Ray, who is like must have been he apparently used to deliver a bunch of drugs in drapes. That's a method I hadn't heard about before.
Not heard of that one, yeah.
But he did it, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna get $100,000 for this, and he's like, I need $2,000 in advance, and they like bitch and moan about that. I'm like, I feel like if you're making millions of dollars, what?
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I felt like $2,000 was not like a big number
for like an upfront deposit.
Weird, yeah. It's like, okay, this is somebody that you trust that you've used before, and he's doing this for you, and it's $100,000 you're gonna pay him. Why is 2% a big deal?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like.
$2,000. I don't know about this.
That's not even 2%, is it? That's like
it was 2%. You're right. Your math was there right away.
But wouldn't 2% be? Oh no, right? Because it's 2,000, not 200. Never mind. I'm missing zeros in my brain.
It's cool. That's cool.
Don't doubt yourself.
Don't doubt yourself. You got this. You can do math.
No, I thought that was funny. Like we both like kind of cocked our heads at each other. Like, really, 2,000 is gonna like
that's it.
Be your breaking point for this? Like, I don't know. I mean,
he said 3,000. I'm out.
It's odd though, because I feel like they kind of make it seem like he's like struggling, like Ray is struggling, which is what. Yeah, but like if you can give him $100,000, I don't know. It just felt odd.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Like Sal's the one who took the fall for Ray. It's clearly shown, and he meets Terry, scary Terry, and yeah, like you find out that Sal's like, I'm gonna just fuck this shit up. I just want the Zimbabwe diamonds, blood diamonds, and they go like on a run, and there's a fight scene, and then
he has to escape with Angela. Right?
Oh yeah, Angela arrives at his house. Or his place in the auto shop.
Which I was confused about. Did he tell her where he lived?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought I missed it because I was like, I thought he did, and then I couldn't remember.
He definitely did. He was like, "Hey, so I live above this like
auto shop or whatever."
Auto shop, yeah. And so she appears.
And then like when they're escaping.
Oh, I'm not there yet. Hold on one second.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So she looks at the wall and notices all this writing. And do you wonder if she noticed her own name on the wall?
Maybe.
Because he writes down, one of his other personas jumps in earlier and writes her name. Angela dies.
And then like cross it, or it says like do not meet her or something.
Yeah. And then she's reading the wall. Do you think she read, like, I feel like she read that.
I don't know. I mean, I guess she could have, because when Jimmy 2 jumps in, you can tell she's like hearing him and like looking for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you're clued in that Angela knows something, but it's hard to tell if she knows before then. I kind of don't think she does, just because of the scene where they break down. She's like so confused when he talks about like the cop and everything.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Hey, he's going to say this. You want to explain yourself?
Which, mind you,
there's a script. Not a script, but like they're going to probably say that it's something.
I don't understand why they picked that to talk about the car in that way. I'm just gonna jump ahead here. I figured you guys would ask me about this, or at least Adam would.
I like to, but I didn't on this one.
Yeah, it was just silly how they were like, yeah, it's gonna have to cool overnight. A, it would not, and B, it wouldn't matter if you left it to cool overnight to then drive it because it's still broken.
Yeah.
So it would just overheat.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand why something so simple that a lot of people know about cars, of like all things, people know that, radiator go boom, need fix. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what that is. Like, so I don't understand why they chose that of all things. That one irked me. I was like, this is probably one of the weirdest attempts at, maybe, I don't know. It was weird. I didn't like it.
It didn't bother me.
I'm surprised.
I think I was just like laughing about the conversation with the cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of just
Probably.
odd. And then, but hey, where they broke down had some nice mountain views. Like, damn.
Yeah, then in the Pacific Northwest.
Mm-hmm. Just like pitch a tent there.
With people chasing after you, pitching a tent on the side of the road probably isn't a
It'd
good
work.
idea.
It would work. It would work.
If
It
you
would
hit
work?
the
You'd be
car,
okay.
it would work. Like, how would they know that you're the one that pitched the tent?
That's true.
Right?
Where'd you
Also,
get the
you
tent?
could leave the car, go out and hide in a tent that's
That's true,
covered
that's
in debris or debris.
Debris,
Debris.
yes.
Mhm.
And then they'd be like, "Oh, the car's here. They must have walked on foot," and then you'd be safe.
True.
Now, Sam, you had something earlier about when Terry was breaking in? I interrupted you. It's
Don't
gone?
have it anymore.
It's gone?
Mm-hmm.
He got her out. She was in the middle of a shower. He's like, hey, we're going. And she's just like, okay, I guess we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's just cool with it.
Yeah. She, my favorite, one of my lines that I thought was kind of funny was she comments on his room, like
Yeah.
the decor. And I'm like, first off, there are single dudes out there that'll have a lawn chair and a television and be like, this is good.
Right. There's not much to say about his.
Nah, like his place was fine. I just thought it was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, it needs a woman's touch. Okay.
Does it? Oh.
Yeah, like
It was just another one of her deliveries and her lines that are kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure they wrote her the best. Like, she gets better as the movie goes on, but she kind of just is like, I don't know. I'm trying to put my finger on it. Like, back to that scene where they break down, like, some of the delivery of, like, how did you know that or whatever. Like, she doesn't look confused. She doesn't sound confused.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know. She sounded kind of odd. And then, yeah, she got delivered some shitty lines, I think. So you're kind of like, oh, okay. But, I can't fault them for that because nobody apparently knows how to write women these days.
Ouch burn. Sam's just going to mic drop.
Yeah, if you want to know
Yeah.
all my complaints about that, just listen to the rest of the episodes.
Yeah, that is a very standard, understandable complaint.
Anyway.
They move along. They go to a motel, hotel, Holiday Inn.
Yeah, that gets broken into. And at that point, I didn't think that it was him. Did you guys, were you onto that trail yet?
No, I definitely just thought it was Sal and Terry.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But it was odd that they knew how to get into the safe. But I was like, maybe they just Hulk smashed it. Like, I don't know.
I thought they just took the safe. I didn't, for some weird reason, I don't remember them showing the safe.
They showed the safe.
Yeah, I don't either.
They showed the safe open, and
Okay.
Jimmy was like, "That's so weird. Like, I'm the only, like, who would know the combination to the safe or whatever?" And I was like, "Well,
Right.
you probably just used something super common that Sal would have known."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Today's date.
Yeah, something like that. My birthday.
Yeah. What is it, like all hotels, not hotels, but Airbnbs, if like you have a gate code to the beach and it's like it's the Sunday date, like whatever the date is for that Sunday, and you get in and it changes weekly, but it's the same fucking combination. It's weird.
Dun, dun, dun.
Very weird.
Yeah.
But they eventually go to Elliot, his foster father,
Yes.
who I was saying was Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
It's an indie version of himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you don't know this yet, but I'm just going to slide this in there that this has got to be wild for Elliot because this is
Oh, yeah.
had so many Jimmies. I don't think they all ever call
Jim
him
Bobs.
Jim. They have so many Jimmies show up and like at various points.
Oh,
and
yeah.
specifically that like night and point, he's already like he ends up seeing like 3 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it's just got to be confusing for the man.
Poor guy.
But he's been working on it, so he kind of like.
Well, you got to think of how many
expect
times
it.
he's actually seen Jimmy.
Right. That's true.
Not in the standard timeline.
Yeah, that's true.
They did the standard practice of shaving a man's beard to make him younger.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I was like,
Well, I'm pretty sure his beard was fake.
Oh yeah, but nonetheless, it was nice to. It does make it easier to be like, okay, so that was in between. That's the youngest version.
Right.
Like-
Yeah. It was very. Yeah. You could tell.
Yeah, and it was wild how like he basically like double jumps, right? So Elliot, like he shows up at the house and he's like, "Oh, this is a problem. I think I'm gonna die." Yada yada. And then like he basically takes him down to the basement and shoots him up, and that's when he first time travels. And then he goes back and sees younger Elliot. And like at that point, when they shoot him up again, I'm like, shit, you're double time traveling. This is gonna get real dicey because you never know like the time travel laws of the realm that you're in. So
Yeah, you don't
you're
know
like-
what movie you're in.
yeah, all you know is that there's 2 of them running around, and you know that can cause some problems.
And then there were 3.
Yeah, and then they just kept getting more. Mm-hmm.
At one point, I was like, is James just Elliot? Like
Right. Is it just a different version of him?
did he go back and create the drug to make himself be able to go back in time?
Oh, I
Right.
didn't think about that. That's an interesting.
You went that route too, Tim?
That's interesting.
That was one of my theories, and
Yeah,
then the other
okay.
one was butterfly effect.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't remember that movie.
Butterfly effect, basically every single thing you do in life has an impact to the entire universe.
Mm.
So if you go, say you and I are looking at fork in the road.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose right, the entire universe will go one way. If you go left, it'll go another way.
Mm.
And then
It's wild.
basically he couldn't the main reason I thought butterfly effect is because he had to, in order to fix everything that he kept changing and doing and messing up, he had to die.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, which is that movie's depressing as fuck.
It is.
A lot of people turn it off at the dog scene, and I understand that.
Yeah, that's rough.
That is super
no
rough.
pun intended.
But I have a button for that, but I'm lazy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you're a little tired today.
But it's wild to think about like the kid version
Saw him.
saw himself. Like he sees himself so many times. And like the kid version saw himself, and then the kid version like knew that this already happened. So it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
And it like waits to basically get like reactivated and remembered when he's an adult, which is even wilder.
Yeah, and like player 3 Jimmy looked like a zombie.
Oh,
Like a-
100%.
yeah, like-
Yeah.
He was
That guy
not
shows up
doing
like
well.
that's a crackhead.
Yeah. That was the only reason why I kind of was confused when player 1 Jimmy shows up to the house, because I'm like, you don't look anything like your like vision. Like he didn't look like a zombie at that point. So I'm like, is he gonna die here? So
You
that
don't
kind of
know,
tips
though.
something off. Yeah.
You don't know like what happens in between.
Yeah, I know, but I just found that really odd because he still looked like he just looked like way different.
Dude, Terry called it though. He's like, I punched him in the face real
I
hard.
know.
Yeah.
He has no black eye.
Points for Terry figuring it
Shut
out.
up, Terry.
Shut up, Terry. You're stupid. You're just a brute. Oh,
That
man.
reminds me, the scene when he jumps behind the dumpster then,
Mhm.
and he just disappears from the dumpster. He would not have gotten away without them seeing him. But did he travel there again? I don't remember.
The dumpster.
So he sits behind the dumpster, shoots up, he disappears. You're saying,
Okay, so
The
he did
other-
shoot up, right?
Yeah.
yeah, the other
Okay, never
player,
mind then.
they
I
do
missed
see
him
enter
shooting
the
up.
car. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Yeah. So I missed it because they walked around the dumpster and he just was gone. I was like, there's no way they wouldn't have seen him run to the car. And I
Yeah,
was
no,
like,
he
oh
just
wait, did he shoot up and I missed it? Because I think I looked down to like write something. But
isn't that the worst?
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
especially
really
in a movie like
quick.
this.
Yeah.
Also, where did he keep getting those from?
Oh, he just had one. Just had more vials.
He kept using. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's just to be assumed at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like he had like a decent amount.
He just had a ton. Just kept going through them.
But
He's
I-
like, fuck this. I'm saving this bitch that I met tonight.
That's true. That's a
Which
lot
he
of
didn't actually
dedication.
meet.
No, he met her technically.
Not that night though, right? Like technically.
It would have
'Cause he
been
goes
2
back
days,
to-
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. He's been seeing her his whole life. So I guess that
Yeah.
does.
That's true.
That is
yeah.
true. He has a bit more on
Of
the
a
plate than this.
connection, yeah.
It's always like when I was watching, I was like, this is like for a stranger, you're going out of your way, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
like he's been seeing it. Like when he said, I feel like I've seen you before.
He meant it.
He literally has been seeing a picture of you.
And she felt it too. I was like, that's dumb. You don't have
Yeah.
clairvoyance. Get out of here.
Yeah, I feel like that was the line. She was like, "Can I put this in here?"
Yeah.
Like, I guess.
Nah, it's funny.
Well, and I thought when we had like 3 Jimmys running around, it was starting to feel a lot like Harry Potter 3,
Oh, yeah.
where they had to keep like
Oh,
avoiding
yeah.
each
Time
other.
turner?
Yeah.
I was
like,
trying to figure
oh.
out which one it was going to be.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just odd. Like it gave me so much of that vibes, and I think it's because he's like in the bush and they're in the bushes. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I thought it was funny.
I would say it follows similar laws as that one.
Yeah, except that he can see himself fine. He just tries
Right.
not to.
Yeah, he shoots himself by accident in the arm.
Yeah, no big deal.
So no matter what, Elliot just shoots up a Jimmy no matter what. Period.
Yes.
Yeah, he just sees a Jimmy, he shoots him up.
He's
Which
like,
is like a good law to abide by, probably.
oh shit, you're dying.
Right.
I'm gonna
You're
send you to the
back again.
future.
Yeah.
Quit coming up, Jimmy.
Except for the first one where he's like, "How'd you get this in your bloodstream?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because he was like, yeah. He's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on this. How is that in your bloodstream?
How do you?
You'd think, I mean, you'd got to understand that as soon as you invent something like that, whatever you're like, I don't know, that something like that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know
somebody's
how to
gonna get their
explain
hands
that,
on
but
it.
all of a sudden, as soon as time travel is invented, time travel has been used. Like, that's literally what's going to happen. And whether somebody comes and visits you when you made it, or, that's going to happen almost as soon as you, I mean, like, if it happens, it happens. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to describe it better than that, but it literally is going to happen within the moment. Like, if somebody's going to come visit you when you created it, then it's going to happen as soon as you create it. It's not like there's going to be a delay. I don't know. So, like, to not expect stuff to happen seems kind of weird, but.
Yeah. Maybe he just wasn't expecting it to happen so quickly.
Right. Or did he not invent that it got in their bloodstream yet? Maybe?
No, I just think he was surprised.
I don't know.
He's
He might not have
surprised.
known that. He might not have had like the rats happening yet. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like the injections and stuff.
It just might have been theoretical still.
Right.
Right.
That could have been.
and I'm wondering if like Jimmy coming back like almost puts like a focus on the rats in the study that they're doing. You know what I mean?
So I
Yeah.
made it work. I know I made it work, guys.
Exactly. Right.
Team,
Like
team,
there could be something to that.
I had a visitor.
I mean, back to Tim's point, like I do kind of feel like that would happen if this were to be something that invented. It'd be like
Yeah.
it would almost like push things forward because you'd be like, "Well, I got a visitor, so we know it works. Like we just got to
Right,
figure it
yeah.
out," which is funny to think about.
Yeah, for me, when time travel is discussed, like in like what our reality is in the real
Mhm.
world, I still think it'll be like a tree effect. Like I think it splits off. Where time travel was created is a whole different like quote unquote universe than what would be where he goes back. Kind of
Oh,
like
you think it'd become more of a parallel thing?
yeah,
Interesting.
that's just how I feel personally. I don't know either about you two. What about you? Is this our first time travel movie?
No. I feel like we've talked a lot about time travel. That's why I hadn't like
What's the
we had Interstellar.
whatever?
Coherence wasn't
Coherent.
time travel.
But we
Sort of
talked
was.
about it.
Oh, I guess
Yeah.
it
in
was.
that
Yeah.
realm.
It's like, it's weird.
We definitely talked about it for Interstellar. I feel like
Oh,
there's
duh.
been even more movies that we talked about it for, to be honest. If there was even just a hint of time travel, we've been like, let's
Right, we-
theorize some more about it.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember what we've said in the past, but I do feel like we have discussed that it could be a parallel universe type of situation.
Yeah.
Futurama
that-
style.
Yeah.
I think also that there'd be a sect like we just wouldn't necessarily know it.
Yeah, I remember.
So
you
like
saying
maybe
that.
somebody, yeah, like somebody invents it, somebody gets their hands on it, and now that person like just pick on the richest people in the world. Like that's who has it essentially,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? Like that they went back and they did what they needed to do, and then now they're rich and they don't share the time travel and ta-da! Like that's I don't know.
And that, folks, is how we get into dystopian futures.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it all of a sudden, I don't know. If one person has everything and everybody has nothing,
Yeah.
they probably have a secret.
True story.
That is probably true. Okay. So for this movie, what did you think of the title Volition?
I don't know.
Sam?
Well, all I know is it's like of your own volition.
I was
which
like,
is
I know
supposed
it
to be
in
like of your own choice, right?
Free Will.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Which is interesting for this movie because they both like hit on that theme, right? Of being like you always have like Elliot's always like you always have choices or whatever, but you kind of get the vibe
Right.
that like Jimmy doesn't feel like he has choices. It's
no, he
always,
doesn't
like,
think that.
he thinks it's always fated
It's
to
fixed.
happen. Yeah.
Right.
And so I think it fits the movie, but I also kind of think it's like, I mean, I guess the central point, like towards the end, he does end up like,
Changing
spoiler
it.
alert, changing it. So in a way, I guess he learned that he has choices. I don't know. It was an interesting choice of a title because it's like short, it's one word, it fits the theme, and it's not a word that you hear all the time. So
Yeah, it's
Right.
not like the word room.
right.
Like I'm just picking on that just because I know Sam
You
watched
just
that.
always pick on that movie.
I do.
It's not that good, so that's fine.
I pick on that movie because I laugh at the fact that people probably watched The Room instead of Room.
Right.
One is Academy nominated for Oscars, and the other one was Tommy Wiseau.
I'm probably gonna lose us some listeners, but The Room is better than Room.
It's funny. I brought up The Room to people at work the other day, and they'd never heard of it.
Oh.
sadness!
I know.
Such
If I had
sadness.
time
To go watch it.
travel, I would make sure that people knew about The Room always throughout time. Like Bill and
That'd
Ted
be great.
style, just like drop it in
Yeah.
whatever
Right.
century and be like, "You're welcome."
Now,
Enjoy.
for this film, do you think?
Wait, you didn't let Tim comment
didn't
on the
let
title.
Tim. Yeah, Tim.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of along those lines, but with the title, that's why I said like in the beginning, I was like, I don't really understand the title with the cover.
What was the cover?
No, it's like I think it's an
Like an
Is it just his
eyeball.
eye? Okay.
You thought it was another
Um,
creepy eye movie? It's an eyeball with like a labyrinth.
Oh.
Well, and then it was like it's about death, and so I was like, this is gonna be interesting where this ties in, but
Oh,
it does make sense in the end.
cool poster.
It was pretty cool. I never really paid much attention to it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you get another case of a depressed character who can theoretically see the future. We find out that he's not seeing the future. He's seeing, due to multiple versions of
Lived
himself.
moments.
Yeah, multiple
Yeah.
versions of himself living in that timeline. He can see events that they have done.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's kind of like deja vu, right?
Yeah. But I feel like you see people with like precog, they're depressed sometimes because
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to pull out a Disney one like Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
He's always depressed because people are always mad when his
Visions come
his
true.
visions come true and they're not happy.
Yeah, and I also think
True.
if you think about this movie, he's known about certain events happening since he was like a kid, and like
Oh gosh,
even his
mom.
mom, like he is too scared to like intervene or say anything to her about it. So I feel like that is like difficult as well, and probably points his view of like, yeah, I don't really have any choices and stuff like that.
Right.
Do you think his mom knew?
No.
Probably not. I feel like Elliot tries to make it seem like she did, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
he
I
did
don't know how
warp my
she
vision.
would, unless Elliot would just be talking about it.
He said he's always been drawing pictures of his visions.
Right.
That's true.
But that's a kid drawing pictures, so.
That's true, but yeah, people be dying. I'd be a little concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Matching actual life events.
Yeah, you'd be like,
Hold up.
hold up, that looks like my car and me, and
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Concern.
Why did you draw this? No, but you don't want to scare the kid away.
Mhm.
But it's cool that Elliot kept all the pictures.
Mhm.
Clearly, it was partially an experiment.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Clearly, which is depressing in a sense. But
Mm-hmm.
he didn't actually. He doesn't actually give the child the dose.
That's true.
Right.
He only does it at the last minute when he thinks he has to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot better than him
Yeah.
doing like a human trial with a child.
Like starting
it.
off there,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and they kind of lead you down that path as like a red herring of like Elliot's kind of like the bad guy that like shoots him
Right.
up as a child. So I'm glad that wasn't the case.
Me
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I was happy they went the other way.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what did you think of the goons? Like Ray, Sal, Terry? Feel like they were kind of the stereotypical goons.
Yeah, they were just kind of
Sal,
Terry, but Sal was, I don't know. Again, I mean, and obviously these people aren't actors we know, so it's hard to be like, oh, this guy sucks balls. But I think like the goons and like the chick were kind of like meh. I can't remember her name right now, Angela.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like the goons specifically were kind of forgettable. Like
Yeah.
Ray looked familiar to me, and I don't know why.
he just looked like Ed Harris.
No, that was Sal.
Oh.
Sal was Indy Ed
Yeah.
Harris.
Oh,
Ray did look familiar at first, but I think it had to do with the mustache, and I'm not really sure. I don't know.
No, I would agree. It's his style.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really have any beef with Ray except for like his wig was like very
That's not his wig. That was his real
Yeah.
hair.
That was his real hair? It did
I
not
looked it
look
up.
like it. They did something
that's
funky
his-
with his makeup because it looked
There was like a weird
bizarre.
line.
Yeah. That was really odd.
His hair and mustache looked fake.
Yeah, that was very distracting. But I didn't think like he was
I led you down that path. I apologize.
well, it was super distracting.
There was like a weird crease.
It like basically looks like his wrinkles just randomly stop and it's like a different color and you're like, is he wearing a bald cap with a wig? Like what's going on here? Anyway, sorry dude, we did not think that was your real hair if you're listening to this. But yeah, I mean, I think like Ray was fine. I think if anybody like was kind of like not great, it would be like Angela and the goons, but I would even take Angela over the goons. I don't know why. Like I thought they were funny at some parts, but like I guess I don't think they were necessarily needed. I guess they just
You
needed
needed
a
them for the
plot
conflict.
foil.
You
Yeah.
needed the conflict.
but I feel like you could have done that with Ray somehow.
Right.
But whatever. I mean, nothing horrible. What about you, Adam?
I
Anybody you
didn't.
didn't like?
No, I didn't really dislike anybody this one.
There you go.
It didn't bother me. I was just sitting there being like, all these people seem like a different version of someone else.
Yeah.
And it was messing with my head the whole time. No, but do either of you have any other notes?
Let me look here. I don't think so. No, it's not looking like it.
My last one was just like that the ending kind of reminded me of Coherence because for a little bit you're trying to figure out, like, as it's starting to all wrap together, you're trying to figure out, okay, which player's surviving? Is this the original one? Is it a different one? You know what I
Right.
mean? And, like, so that kind of gave me the same sort of vibes.
Yeah.
And it does, like, it is player 2, right?
It is player 2.
That, like,
Yeah.
Player 1
ends.
always gets sent to the past.
Yeah.
Player 3
And player 3 was the one that got killed.
player 3 saves her,
Mm-hmm.
and then player 2 is like, "Oh shit."
He's, like, walking in the door.
But I still don't know what happens with player 3's body.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Elliot dissects it.
There you go. Possibly.
Honestly?
Player 3 was the one that was like literally
Zombie.
coming apart
Yeah,
at
he
the
was-
seams,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
he might have dissected him. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, Elliot was like, "You have jumped too many times.
yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
you gotta get your
I
shit
have to
together."
save her.
Mhm.
I must save her." But, anyways, I will get to the notes.
Do it.
James Jimmy Jim Bob. He is played by Adrian Glynn Glynn. I think it's Glenn. Glynn. That seems like a Glenn.
Sure.
Glenn.
Glenn or Glenn. I didn't know why it was made. Anyways, McMoran. He's in The Revenant. He's an American soldier in The Revenant.
Wow, look at him.
Weird.
Angela is played by Magda. I think that's an R. Aran Oates. I can't say her last name. But she's in The Butterfly Effect. Weird.
That is
Ah.
weird.
She's like, I believe she's an extra. Or
Oh.
like
A featured extra.
a featured extra.
Featured extra.
She's somebody. She's like teenage girl something or other,
Ah.
or like she might have been the teenage girl version of like the main girl. Anyways, Elliot is played by Bill Marchant. He's in Chappie.
Oh.
He's the professor in Chappie.
Hmm.
I just thought that was funny because
Really?
He's a professor in this movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray is played by John Cassini. He's in Seven.
Oh.
So he's also in the background. So all these people so far have all been in movies that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Just
That's weird.
right. So like they're all getting like a
I feel like
chance
that
at
makes
bigger
it
roles.
worse.
Well, they don't normally get big roles. They weren't in
That's
big
true.
roles before.
Yeah, that's true.
Sal, Ray's cousin, is played by Frank Cassini, John's cousin. So they were actually related in real life, which is
nice.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool. He's in Watchmen.
Nice.
What? And then Terry is played by Alex Pondovich. He is in War for the Planet of the Apes.
Wow. Look at these people.
They all
Weird.
did that one. He plays. I don't know. He plays one
He's
of
a
the
featured
apes.
extra. Featured
He
ape.
plays Winter.
Uh-huh.
He
Featured
has
ape.
a name in the movie, so he might say a few lines.
So he is a featured ape.
He says more than 5 lines. Yes.
Anyway.
The director is Tony Dean Smith. He did Disappearance in Yellowstone. But yeah, and I thought it was really cool that he I saw on like the filmmakers subreddit like, oh yeah, I made the movie, I finished it.
Woo.
I was like,
Yeah, that's kind
oh,
of cool.
because like I don't know.
Doesn't he also have like a series on YouTube where he goes through how he made it or something?
That
No.
I don't know.
I thought that's what he said in his Reddit comment.
Oh, he might have. I forget.
Like, here's the little series of making the movie.
So the critics of this one gave it an 88%. The audience gave it a 69%. IMDb gave it a 5.6 out of 10, and Google with a 60%.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's really low for Google.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what movie it is, it's a low score for Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so who wants to start? Oh wait, it won 6 awards and was nominated for 9 others.
Wow. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy.
I can go first.
Let's have you go first, Sam. I always love the silence between
I
this.
know. I liked it. I thought it was good. I feel like those scores are kind of low, especially knowing Google's past of like, just makes me despise the Google scores because they rate things super high that are like
It's so weird.
so.
Do we want to
bad.
stop bringing Google into the
No,
conversation
we should
next
bring
season?
it into the conversation. It just as a point of contention. We might as well
Okay.
just keep it at this point.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, there's certainly worse movies out there. And like I said, I didn't feel like it was an indie film until like there was just a little bit of acting stuff. But it wasn't so bad that I was like, oh my God, I can't watch this. Like, these guys are horrible. Like, it was more just like every once in a while it'd be off and you'd be like, not great. But like the story is really good, I thought. And I thought they executed it really well because it kind of like keeps you on your toes. And I'm a big fan of like time travel movies. So
Mhm.
I liked it. I'd flip it on. If you're a time travel person, I'd say flip it on too. Tim?
Yeah, I thought the story was good. I don't know that I think it was executed well. I don't know if it was the acting or something that bothered me. I think it was a little bit of that, but
Mhm.
you can't blame that necessarily, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got to start somewhere, whatever, blah blah blah. But I do feel like a good chunk of the movie was filler because we literally were watching the same scenes over and over again
There
with
was
nothing really added. There was a big, like, I almost want to say like 30 minutes of like, okay, we get it, but you're just showing the same scenes over and over again with just a little bit of added, not enough. I don't know. It didn't feel
Not a different
like there was
angle. It was the same
enough.
angle.
Yeah, it was all the same. Like, you weren't really adding much besides the fact that he's there watching it happen. If you added something else that he did without, I mean, because you have to understand the audience sees it, and once they know that's what's happening, you don't have to keep showing it. You can just, flash to it. He did this, flash to it. This is happening. Okay, what's he doing now to change things? Whereas in this, it was just sitting a lot in the other scenes, and I was like, why are we doing this? Like, the audience understands. So my only thought was it's filler because they wanted to make it longer than it was.
Yeah,
that's probably my biggest gripe.
There's definitely a part at the end too where they like montage. I think it's when they go. It's like literally the very end before you see him like enter the door. They like montage all of the parts of it, and it's like, nah, brah, we like just watched all of that happen, which I felt was kind of like off and not necessarily needed.
Right.
So I see what you're saying there.
Don't say my name yet. Tim hasn't said he's flipping it on or off.
I wasn't going to. I was waiting.
Oh, you were looking at me.
Sorry.
What the heck? You can't look at me.
Can't look at people. Anyway, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting idea and stuff. And the filler thing really bothered me.
Fair.
I was on the fence. Coming into this, it was a definite flip it off. But the more the more we got into it and stuff, and I think I'd have to flip it on because at first I was really bothered by a lot of stuff. But after watching it, it's probably not something I'd watch again. But after watching it, it makes you think. You go back and analyze it. It's you're like, okay, well that's actually a cool concept. I like time travel. Yes, there was flaws in what happened, but when it comes to time travel, their rules go. Like that's what it is. Like
exactly.
their rules.
You have to just accept the movie.
Yeah, like you have to. Yeah, pretty much. It's like it's almost like a pass because it's like every time travel movie is inherently interesting because it makes you think about time travel and then how they did it. And like the whole injection thing was weird, but it worked.
Yeah.
Which is also because at first I didn't think it was working, and then like the more I think about it now, I'm like, it did work. So yeah, it's a flip on for me. Yeah.
Nice. I would flip it on as well. I was into it from reading the synopsis a year and a half ago. I was like, that sounds interesting. I want to watch.
Yeah.
I can't watch. Why can't watch?
I can't watch.
Yeah.
that happened to me with this movie, and then Under the Silver Lake, which is a lot bigger of a movie. But I also really liked that one. Sometimes I just read stuff and I'm like, yep, I'm going to like it. Like I just know it. I have this feeling. It had me guessing at parts, and I like movies that I can't just predict the whole thing. Like I had a theory on the whole hooded version of him tackling himself. That was mostly just because they didn't show the guy's face, and that has been done in other stuff. So it's like, I mean, you're allowed to copy.
Right. Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. But yeah.
Not a bad thing, but not always a good thing.
Yeah, you can't do it too much. You had to have your own thoughts, which they did.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I was happy with it, and we'll move. And I would say that it literally fits the term of adapt or die.
Yeah, true.
For the category, more so than the just standard adapted screenplay. I don't know if it was adapted. I could never find that information. But yeah.
Nice.
If he didn't adapt, Angela was going to die.
Right.
True
So he died instead.
Many layers.
Like an onion. So Tim, I'm a spin for Sam. We're getting down. We have, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 6 episodes left of this season. Oof, indeed. All right, let's see what we're going to get.
Season. Wild times.
Who would have guessed? We have season 4 on its way. But we still need to do Sam's episode on.
Oh, Jesus.
So Tim, in the car ride
Yeah.
earlier, Sam said, I'm going to kill someone if I get triple digits. And you know what? What did you
asked
get,
for it.
Sam?
You
What did you
asked
Oh
for
my
it.
get?
gosh. See, it's just like I must have clairvoyance. I was like, I'm going to get this shit again. Again. All right. Well, I'll figure something out.
Yeah,
I was
you
gonna say, at
will.
least you get to pick it.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. You could be like Lord of the Rings.
I mean, hey, I got to say, the Batman was pretty good too. If you guys didn't listen to that episode,
Yeah.
go back.
Oh, look
Good
at
stuff.
Sam
Good
promoting our old episodes.
Shoo. And it's a superhero movie. Woo!
I know. Wild times are happening, folks.
Will you come here? I need to make sure. I got to feel your head. Check your temperature. See if you're feverish.